Hello.
How are you doing?
I am trying to add Diana as host.
Yeah, I thought I already did while publishing the meetup, or?
Mm,
Oh, there she is.
Thank you. I don't know why it didn't even acknowledge me as, from Women Who Mule on Amara's side, but whatever. Thank you. I'm in.
Perfect.
Great to see you all.
Same
Happy
thing.
Thursday.
Whose birthday is it? Sonam's.
No,
Is it?
my birthday.
Birthday?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are other people I know their birthday is today, but it's none of us.
Okay.
I don't mind celebrating it twice a year.
I know, right?
Allowed.
Now, see, when you get to my age, you want to skip a year.
I can already feel that. I don't want to celebrate it twice a year. Sorry.
Oh, that's funny. My husband actually had thought his birth date, not date, his number. He was like totally convinced he was a year younger than he was, and I'm like, no, really, you need to do the math. He realized though, he's like, oh.
Why even count, Diane? Why even count? If it makes
This
us happy,
is true.
you're a year younger.
Yeah, very true, very true. It's only a number. It's only a number. It's all in how you live and feel. So the message is to stay strong and keep busy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Doing the things we love to do.
See that Akkriti has joined. I can give her the presenter mode as well so that she can switch on her camera if she wants.
There you are.
Yeah.
You are on mute, Akkriti.
Hi everyone.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's just probably like after an year I'm getting into any of these calls. So yeah, happy to be back.
Sounds good. Welcome back again then.
Thank you.
Where are you located?
I'm in London.
London. Okay, great. Very good. Were you able to go to what was it? AI Connect in World Tour recently?
Yes, I did not go there. I'm still on maternity leave, and this is my second last week of the maternity. So I'll be joining the work soon.
Well, congratulations. You have a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
Boy. First?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Akkriti.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You'll see time flies already, doesn't it? I mean, growing fast.
100%.
Yeah. It's exciting to see. We have many grandchildren. From 3 children, we have many grandchildren. So I love watching them grow and do their funny little things that they do. So enjoy these moments because they will grow very fast.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
It's still a bit early. Guess maybe we can wait for 5 minutes maybe for people to join.
Yeah, that sounds good. So as you enter back in, what is your focus on what you're going to target first? There's so much happening, so many new products, so many new things. I would like to know what's your interest at this point?
Yeah, so I have been more passionate about MuleSoft from the very beginning, and I want to continue in the same. And I see there are a lot of words and discussions about AI. So, firstly, I would start myself getting learned to these about new products. I have been attending some of these MuleSoft meetups, but yeah, I mean, until and unless I do hands-on and collect more knowledge, then I'll think I'll be able to be more confident about it. So, yeah, that would be my status.
Yeah. Good strategy. Good strategy. Of course, in a room full of muleys, we're going to be all about that. So,
Yeah.
but it is good, especially for the integrations, the deeper integrations, and of course, what Kira is going to share today is the difference between one product, but two opportunities to leverage it for intelligent document processing. And that's kind of our world, really, when it comes to consulting, is, really what's going to be the best fit for them. And one really leverages MuleSoft quite a bit. The other is not. It's in Salesforce, So, when we're looking at opportunities, it's we've got this balance, I guess, based on the company and their needs. And of course, I love the deep dive. I love the pro code, the MuleSoft, and going deeper into that. But what about you, Sanam? What are you thinking about? Where are you diving into next?
Like we were discussing yesterday, I am more interested in knowing the recent acquisition of Fin. So I've been digging into that and what kind of AI capabilities Fin is bringing, right? And what Salesforce is already offering and what Fin has, will improve the things. That's, I don't know in future what they will come up with. So that's where I'm looking into, because Salesforce also recently acquired Informatica. So I kind of attended those events where they were talking about Informatica as well. So I'm hoping they will arrange any more events that they will speak about how they are collaborating with Fin now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good call. Good call. Kiru, what do you think?
Yes, me, as you were saying, Diane, the products in MuleSoft are just evolving at such a rapid pace, and it is super hard to just keep up with all the new stuff that's happening. So I'm just doing that right now with Agent Fabric and about MCP servers, trying to create them. And I've been more focused also on how it works between MuleSoft and Salesforce, because this seems to be somehow a lot of features in MuleSoft are moving towards Salesforce. So I want to learn also a little bit of both and how they work together. So this has been my focus in the last few months, weeks. And that's also why I'm doing now the session about this MuleSoft Flow IDP. It's also been a part of that. Yep, that's the focus. And
yeah, it's good. That is great. I love how we all have different focuses, but yet, you know what? They'll probably all be integrating together, as we are continuing to share and build out some demos and things like that too. My focus here lately, I've been actually doing a deep dive into Kubernetes on account of the structure that it provides. So that's actually a Linux course, which I'm a Linux certified oh goodness, what is it? Linux certified admin from like 15 years ago, so I had to remember the Linux, commands and all that fun stuff. Now, fast forward. So I'm doing the Kubernetes certification, but also too, Informatica. Informatica is also on my radar. So I'm good call on that one too. I think when we start looking at what's available in our toolkits of integrations, we need to take that into consideration too.
Yeah, I have a couple of clients who have different requirements, and sometimes MuleSoft is not enough alone. So we need to know what other things they are bringing in, so we can talk about that with them as well when we are trying to consult them or advise them on what is best. Yeah,
true. Yeah, very true. Very
and
true.
Diane and her certificates, but you have a good competition, someone who also has a long list of certificates with us, Akkriti.
Yes, I saw that. My goodness, it'll be great to hear about all that. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes, for sure. And I've heard, sometimes I am a very strong believer in certification. Sometimes people are like, oh no, I don't want to do. I think if you show your job experience, your work experience, that is sufficient. But really the certification, to your credit, is that you show your competency in a broader sense of what that certification involves. So well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Very good.
We have a few people who have joined already. So if you want to, as I said in the chat, just feel free to post a hi and where you're joining from. It would be great to know where you guys are joining from. Can in the meantime just present the screen. And if you want to, we can slowly start. Yep. Okay, perfect. So
There is noise in your background. I'm not sure if it is your.
mine? Could-
Yeah. Does anyone else hear it, or is it just me?
I do hear it a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of feedback.
Is it still there now as well? It's a bit strange.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. Are you? Do you have headphones on, or are you talking?
Yes, let me just put in the headphones and then maybe it's getting better. Let's see. Okay, so is it better now? Yes.
Yeah. That's
Okay. Okay, so I see that we have people joining from Florida, from Augsburg, and Diane from Tennessee. Great, that is really good. Okay, thank you all for joining in. We will start with a quick introduction, maybe to Women Who Mule. Maybe Diane, if you want to, you can already start a few words about Women Who Mule.
Sure, absolutely. Women Who Mule is where it all began, I guess you could say. It wasn't even specifically America. It was really all Women Who Mule globally. And it was really established by Nisha Sharma, and she was one of the original leaders. And so she still is a leader in America now with me and Shivani Moraro. But now we have different divisions. As you know, we have EMEA. There's also, the other, the Latin, and also I think there's one other for Asia for the different time zones, right? And but what we focus on is also, technology, as well as our testimonials, our experiences as a woman in tech, as women in the industry. And we are spotlighting a beautiful young lady today. And so we'll be hearing from her shortly, but that's what we're about, is helping one another, encouraging one another, and having a place to share our experiences.
Perfect. Thank you, Diane. Yeah. So if you guys are not already part of Women Who Mule, you're very welcome to join. And it is not just limited to women, so you guys can join to show us your support. Okay, perfect. Then let me switch to the agenda. So as Diane mentioned, the first part of this meetup is going to be a spotlight on one of our mulees, Akkriti. So she's going to be sharing with us her inspiring journey. And in the second part of the meetup, we are going to be having a quick introduction to MuleSoft Flows IDP, which is the latest product offering from MuleSoft. And we're also going to be seeing a quick end-to-end document workflow automation using MuleSoft Flows IDP. So that would be the rough agenda. Now, I just want to give a quick introduction to the moderators of this group. Diane, you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Sure. Of course, I am a MuleSoft ambassador in the community, and really enjoy helping and mentoring others along their journey on their career, and have done that for several years now, myself included in being mentored by others. So that's the beautiful part about it. And in addition to that, I am also a MuleSoft practice lead for one of the partners in the US called Cloud Blazer. And so I consult with a lot of customers, as well as work with some of the internal account executives, solution engineers that I have actually done training for, because I'm also a certified instructor under Integration Quest. So it's kind of a lot of things that I do, but all of it centers around enablement, helping customers, as well as, my volunteer part that I do in the MuleSoft community. So glad to be here.
Thank you, Diane. And let me take over. So my name is Kirutika Nityanandan. I am located in Essen, Germany, and I am working for a consulting group called Lehman Pioneers Digital Group, also based out of Germany, and my role is a managing consultant. I work mostly creating end-to-end process automations and integrations with different tools, also including MuleSoft. I'm also a MuleSoft ambassador, and my passion is to learn new stuff and also to share knowledge via meetups like this. Then over to you, Sona.
Hello, everyone. I am Sonam. Nice to meet you all. And I'm also a MuleSoft ambassador. And I like to mentor people in the community and help them with the certificates. If you have any questions regarding the certificates, how to pursue them, and what all you should be studying, just feel free to contact me or any of us. I think most of us have the certificates. Majority of those certificates from MuleSoft, we can help to guide you. Other than that, my recent interest has been with the MCP servers and Agent Force. So that's where I'm investing majority of my time in my current company. So if you have any questions regarding those products or Agent Fabric, I'm exploring them. So we can explore them all together. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or Slack, wherever you feel comfortable. Yeah, that should be all from me. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sonam, if you want to, you can also introduce our guest for today.
Yeah, sure. I am very delighted to welcome Akkriti to our Women Who Mule meetup. And Akkriti is a 2026 top MuleSoft mentor, and she's a MuleSoft certified architect with around 11 years of experience. And her journey is from Oracle to MuleSoft and some architecture leadership. And like I was saying in the starting of the call, she has a very impressive list of certifications as well. And we would love seeing her continue to grow, contribute, and stay connected with the community. Um, and also, I think balancing a career, a new motherhood is something to celebrate. So, welcome, Akriti. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Sonam. Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Kiru. And welcome, everyone. Um Now that you all know a bit about myself, I would like to deep dive to the year 2013, where I joined my current organization, that is Accenture. But back then, I was in Accenture India, and it doesn't start at all with MuleSoft or any other cloud technology. It starts with Informatica, where the skill which was I was trained to. But so initially in the training period, we do get trained to any skill randomly selected to any of the candidates. And after a rigorous training of about 2 to 3 months, then the resources are allocated randomly to the projects. Because being a fresher, we do not have prior experience, so there are no interviews, but we are just randomly selected for any projects. Unfortunately, I was among the 4 or 5 left people who was not hired by any of the project or not allotted any project. But I was on my own, drilling and continuing for some preparation, or like I just wanted to get the project and get all my learning converted to the implementation as soon as possible. So I was grilling at the back, and I somehow managed to get a project for myself in another location in India. But and I was just waiting for that mail from HR to come that I have been allocated to this project. But instead, I got another mail which says that this person has now been selected to get crossed into Oracle SOA. It was Oracle Service Oriented Architecture. It's also one of the integration tools which we used for Oracle. This was not on cloud, but the non-cloud services which we used in 2014. It was a niche skill then, so I was happy that okay, if not Informatica, though it's an evergreen technology, as we can see it now, it has been there from the past 10, 12 years, so definitely it was evergreen. And I thought, okay, let me just build my career around Oracle SOA then. For 5 years, I worked in that technology in multiple projects in and outside Accenture. And back in 2019, I still remember it was November 2019, and there was a project call to me that came out that, okay, we have this opportunity. Would you like to rejoin Accenture? I found that the work was best, the people were the best. So I rejoined Accenture in November 2019 at a technical lead level. And I was still working on Oracle SOA, but I had gained more knowledge on other technologies, right? BPL and the mediators, and there were other Oracle tools also. And the Oracle Cloud was already pacing up by then, and there was time that I wanted to learn more about cloud infrastructure, so I started learning about OIC as well. But it was about 4 5 months while I was building up my knowledge and career on Oracle. There was a chance that Accenture was conducting these training sessions on MuleSoft, which was very much gaining popularity in early 2020. Just to let you know that this was exactly 2 weeks before the lockdown in India happened for the COVID. So I completed my MuleSoft training, and a week after, there was complete whole country was locked down. I mean, whole globe was locked down. Obviously, the world was locked down, and I somehow I was among the unluckiest lots because I got um rolled off from my project, and there was a risk of losing your job also, because all the people, there were so many people on bench at that point of time, and there was definitely a risk of losing your job. But somehow the MuleSoft training which I was going through, it kept me motivated, and it really did, because it was closer to the integration and I wanted to upskill but be in the integration domain itself. So I really loved that, and I passionately put that ahead. And I used my bench time, which was for 2 months. So I used those 2 months learning more about MuleSoft and getting certified into the MuleSoft developer certification. So that was completed, and that's how my MuleSoft journey began. Now the time was to getting into the project, and luckily, I was just very happy that all the projects were preferring the candidates with the MuleSoft developer certificates. There was boom of project on MuleSoft, so I was really happy to get those. And again, I was fortunate enough. So probably the MuleSoft was a fortunate thing happening in my life finally after these years. So again, I got the opportunity to work on a client where the excellent team, they were working on the version 3 and the version 4 on the MuleSoft. So I got to learn more about these tools, and it was definitely my first MuleSoft project, so I was a little bit worried. But because the team was really nice, I'm still in touch with those people, and they are absolutely doing amazing everywhere out there. Some are still in India but in different organizations. Some are leading some are actually a part of Salesforce group. Some are actually in US, some in UK, and some in Singapore and Malaysia as well. So they've scattered into all the other parts of the world, and they everyone is doing amazing. So yeah, I got chance to work on with these colleagues, and we kind of created a group where we used to cross train other people to MuleSoft. I did that to 5 individual resources on one-on-one basis. Some were new, some were freshers, and some were Java skilled people. So I cross-trained them to MuleSoft, and we had so much of demand in our MuleSoft within the project and other projects as well. So definitely it was really good, and people were interested to learn that skill. This was one of the major thing which I was doing, and sooner or later, like eventually, I started growing more interest in MuleSoft while working, and then I decided I should go for the integration architect certification. And a year after that, I also applied for the platform architect certification, and it took me 2 chances actually to pass that, but definitely it's very much grilling. So somehow I managed to clear in the second attempt. So back in 2022, I was promoted in my own organization for all the efforts around MuleSoft, and I became the associate manager in India. But that passion of MuleSoft which I had in me, it didn't stop me there. I wanted to grow more and learn more about MuleSoft. In India, when I used to hear about the Salesforce World Tour, it actually, like I felt bad in India because it was very difficult for us to travel to London or to other places and join those meetings. So I thought that okay, let me give a try and see if I can make it to some of the other places or not. Uh, at the end of year 2022, I came to London and in Accenture again. So probably the Accenture and MuleSoft, they're not leaving me and they are my lucky charm somehow. So I'm here in Accenture again with MuleSoft. And here I started sorry, it's not started. I mean, there was a MuleSoft community here, but it was somehow lacking the spirit and there were no new trainings happening here in London. So I started monthly tech sessions and I was the speaker. I was one of the two speakers in those tech sessions within the organization in MuleSoft. And we here also I started a cross training. I mean, those all who are interested, cross training those people to MuleSoft and helping them ramp up in their projects. If they have any doubts, we used to conduct these technical sessions. So for a year, I conducted those sessions along with my regular work. If I talk about the work which I was doing in London, it started with my 50% time dedicated to the development and 50% for the architecture. And after a year, I completely focused into the architecture part. And with all these side hustles going on, I wanted to pump myself up and get more certifications in MuleSoft. And then I completed the hyper automation and the catalyst certifications. So with that, in the year 2025, I found out that I was the first person in Accenture UK to have all these 7 certifications. And the other people were also pumped up by looking at these new certifications. So I helped them as well. So I'm not sure if they have been certified now or not, but yeah, back then they were studying on this. So I hope they are all certified and we have more people with all those 7 certifications here. So this is how I started working on MuleSoft, and it kept me pumping and getting to this certification list. Now, along with the work, when I work on these client projects, there is a need for the Salesforce knowledge as well, and that's when my interest grew in getting the Salesforce certifications, and eventually, it pumped me to one to another, and at the end, I have like 16 certifications so far in Salesforce, which includes these 7 MuleSoft certifications as well. One or two have been, I think, they are I mean, I'm just forgetting about the term we say. They are no more the certification. I mean, they have been
Retired.
retired. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. These certifications are retired, but yeah, definitely right now the list says 16. And during my maternity leave, I ensured that this list remains the same and I do not lose any of these certifications. I wish to continue further my learning further in the Salesforce and MuleSoft as well. I've heard that these hyper automation and Catalyst 2 certifications are getting retired in Feb 2027. I'm just looking forward like what new is coming up, because definitely there should be something on the AI with these new AI products and MuleSoft offerings there are. So there should be something or the other. Let's see. So I'm hoping for that. But as you asked in the beginning, Diana, like how I'm planning to start my journey after the motherhood. So those who all don't know, I am still in the second last week of my maternity leave, and in about 2 weeks I'll be starting to work, and I would like to focus on all the new MuleSoft offerings what we have, which includes IDP. I think that's going to be covered today, including the hands-on, which will take time. But yeah, at least the information part, I will definitely benefit from this session. And I have been attending these multiple MuleSoft meetups from various places, from some from London, some from Surat. So definitely happy to meet all the MuleSoft mentors, all the MuleSoft ambassadors, and because everybody has so much to contribute and it's so much vast knowledge and so many people helping towards the community. It's definitely, I really feel blessed to be a part of MuleSoft community here. So definitely looking forward to it. And Yeah, I have started, as you can see on the screen, like I have been selected as a 2026 top MuleSoft mentor. So I am open to mentor other people in the group. There are 1 or 2 person which I have been in continuous touch with, and they also have the same desire of learning Salesforce and MuleSoft, getting certified in MuleSoft. So yeah, we are in touch, and I'm mentoring outside the Accenture as well. So this is a little brief about my journey and about myself. A little bit on my hobbies. I love to travel. I love playing badminton. It's been some years which I have where I have not played, but I have recently got into some groups who love playing badminton. So I'll definitely would like to re-jump there. And I love reading books, and I do write poems. So I love poetry writing. I wrote my first poem in about when I was in standard 8, and since then it was in the regional language, that is Hindi, and also in English. So I have been maintaining these tiny little phrases and poetries, yeah, since then. So this is all about my hobbies, and this pic is my first pic when I was traveling with the baby. So yeah, this is from Italy where where we recently traveled. So yeah, happy to continue, and the travel and the work and the life with the same passion as before, and happy to connect with every one of you here.
Thank you so much, Akkriti. It was really, really inspiring to listen to your journey from where you started, but where you are here right now. And the number of certifications is just mind blowing. It's really mind blowing. And
Thank you.
it was really informative. And my goal is also is very similar to what you said, to explore both MuleSoft and Salesforce together. So I might definitely come back to you for advice with regards to Salesforce certifications.
My pleasure, Kiru.
Cool.
Absolutely. Congratulations on your achievements and also to your passion to help others. I see that resonating in what you do. And this is what is so important in technology for our culture, to help one another and collaborate and share. And sadly, as you know, there are times, that either a corporation or a company or even a group may not have that same culture. And this is where I think that it's important that we carry that wherever we go, and especially, with you being a new mother, I know myself, when I not only looked at my children, but I also look at my grandchildren, it gives me a new purpose in everything I do for that legacy, and so I know that you're going to find, and you probably already are, but when you enter back into actual work responsibilities, is take those little moments to snuggle and give love, and then go back and dive in, because it seems like you'll work even harder, but at any rate, my thoughts are with you on that. And it might be challenging at times, but you'll make it.
Thank you, dear.
Uh-huh.
Then we can go. Thank you so much again, Akkriti, for joining us, and again for sharing the journey. And it is really a pleasure for us to host people like you, and to also showcase how strong women are, how they can amazingly balance both career and personal life. Like it's just the easiest thing in the world, right? So thank you again so much. Okay, now let's move on to the next part of our meetup, which is a quick introduction and sneak peek into MuleSoft for Flow IDP. Before we actually dive into the product, I would like to talk a little bit about the problem that we are trying to solve with MuleSoft for Flow IDP, right? So in a lot of companies in this day and age, we still have data that is coming in either as physical papers or in a digital format, like, for example, a scanned PDF, but it is still unstructured. And it is a challenge to actually extract this data from these unstructured formats. And not only is it challenging to extract it, it is also challenging to validate whether the information that we extract from these documents is correct and whether we can then pass it on to the next step in the business process without actually verifying some business rules, etc. So this still is a huge, huge, huge problem in a lot of organizations all around the world. And the real value comes from not just extracting the data, but also automating this entire business process flow with trust and control. So knowing that the data that we extract is correct, knowing that the data that we extract is validated, and it is safe to be passed on to the downstream automations. Yeah? So one of the ways that we can solve this is with MuleSoft Flow IDP. Some of you might have already had touch points or even worked a lot with MuleSoft IDP, which is the counterpart product of this one, which is existing completely within the MuleSoft Anypoint platform. Yeah. But what we are talking about here is MuleSoft Flow IDP, which is existing completely within Salesforce. So it sounds very similar, but one is in MuleSoft Anypoint platform fully, and this one, what we're talking about, and which is the focus of this session, is MuleSoft Flow IDP, which is the product that exists completely within Salesforce. Yeah. So MuleSoft Flow IDP, as we discussed in the previous slide, is a possibility with which you can extract data from documents using natural language prompts. So you have AI model in the background against which the prompts are sent to, and the data is extracted from these documents and given back to us in a structured format, which we can then decide to use it in whichever way we want in the further subsequent automation steps. Yeah. And it is not just the traditional OCR, which requires a lot of maintenance in case the document format changes, in case you have new document formats that you want to extract data from. This is more flexible because it is AI-based. So even if a format changes, even if you want to add a new format into your bundle, then it is still not that maintenance heavy as a traditional OCR used to be. And because it's natural language, it is very, very low code, no code. So you just have to write prompts like how you're writing it with ChatGPT. Yeah. And the two important points that I would also like to mention here with regards to this product, MuleSoft Flow IDP, is that it comes with an out-of-the-box human review component. We talked about control in the earlier slide. So human review is one of the ways that you can implement control in the automation that you're implementing. So MuleSoft Flow IDP comes with an out-of-the-box human review component that you can use in order to make sure that there is somebody who is validating the data that is being extracted. And because it is existing completely in Salesforce, it can be used with Agentforce so that you can also build document workflows with agents as a front end. Now, so that is a little bit about MuleSoft Flow IDP. Now, let's see what is the difference then between the existing product, which is MuleSoft IDP, and the latest introduction, which is MuleSoft Flow IDP. Why do we have two products, right? The answer is that there are different use cases, and each product is suitable for a different use case. As we talked about earlier, the first MuleSoft IDP is an Anypoint platform. So it is completely in the MuleSoft environment, and MuleSoft Flow IDP is in Salesforce. So when you create so-called document actions, so this is where you configure the natural language prompts in order to tell the AI model what data to extract. When you do it for MuleSoft IDP, you do it in Anypoint, and when you publish it, it gets published as an API in Exchange. So it can be consumed as any API. It can be consumed by MuleSoft apps. It can be consumed by RPA bots, or it can be consumed by any other external system as a normal API can be consumed. Yeah. On the other hand, for MuleSoft Flow IDP, it is living completely within Salesforce. So you do all the configurations within Salesforce. And when you publish the configuration, it can be consumed in Salesforce Flow. so that it can be part of a bigger workflow, or it can be directly used as an action within Agentforce. Yeah. So that is also a big difference with regards to where it can be consumed and how it can be consumed from. And the LLMs or the AI models that both of them uses are located within Salesforce. So even if you have the pure MuleSoft product, it will still consume the LLMs that are located in an abstracted Salesforce instance in the background. So there's no difference with regards to this one. And another huge difference, and this is, I think, the major differentiating point between the two products, is what is the end goal when you are trying to automate the workflow. So if you are building a bigger integration, which involves a lot of systems and not just Salesforce, then MuleSoft IDP would be the perfect fit, because you will have a lot more flexibility. You can integrate using a big custom Mule app, all the external systems that you want to. But let's say if your destination system is just Salesforce, then MuleSoft for Flow IDP would be the right fit. And again, the target users would be, for the MuleSoft IDP, would be MuleSoft integration developers, because it needs a MuleSoft app to develop an end-to-end workflow. And for MuleSoft for Flow IDP, it is just Salesforce admins and business teams, because it is used typically within Salesforce Flows. So I guess Salesforce Flows have been around for a really long time. So all Salesforce users would be already pretty familiar with it, and just consuming MuleSoft for Flow IDP within Salesforce Flow is not a big knowledge gap that they would have to really learn. So the target for MuleSoft for Flow IDP would be Salesforce admins and business teams. And we talked also a little bit about human review earlier. So for human review, when you use MuleSoft IDP, the human review screen exists within the AnyPoint platform. So if there is, let's say, a problem with the extraction where the confidence is low, then the end user would have to log into AnyPoint platform, would have to go to this review task, and he has to correct or verify the information that has been extracted. But when it comes to MuleSoft for Flow IDP, we can integrate this out of the box human review component in a screen flow. And it's basically that, so that if a end user is in Salesforce, he does not have to switch to a different system in order to do the human review, but he can just stay in Salesforce, trigger the workflow, do the human review, correct the data, and then click on submit, and then the downstream automation just continues without him having to switch between systems. Yeah. So these are, without going too much into technical details, these are the main differences with regards to both the products. So as I said, each product is suitable for a different use case. Okay. Now we can have a quick look at the demo. So enough with the theory. This is a big workflow for the demo, but let us first look at the demo and then come back to this picture so that it's easier explained. Let me switch. Okay. So in Salesforce, MuleSoft for Flow IDP is available within the automation app. Yeah, this is where your flows, your integrations, everything is located in. And here you have a tab called as document processing, which is the tab that you use to configure your document configurations, the prompts that you would want to extract the data from. Yeah. So here you can click on this button to create a new document configuration. And on top here, you can see the different models that you can use. You can experiment with which one works better, and then finally go with the one that gives you the best results. And here is the place where you can upload some test files to test your prompts to see how they work. Let me quickly upload one right now. Okay, so I've now uploaded a sample purchase order, let's say we want to extract all the header information and all the item information from this particular document. Yeah? And on the right-hand side here, you have different options for configuring the prompts. The first one is we have the option to create each and every prompt manually, where we describe each and every field that you want to extract from the document. And you can give a brief description, and you can also ask the AI model a particular format that you want to extract the data in, etc. So you configure everything manually. And the second option over here is use auto extraction, where the AI model scans the document and it automatically recognizes all the fields that it can extract from this document, and it will automatically create the schema for you. You can, of course, edit it. You can add more details to it. It just gives you like a starting point. Yeah. And third option is you can you have some predefined templates that you can use. So for example, you have invoice, purchase order, and ID. So they have some predefined fields. So for example, for invoice, you have invoice date, invoice number, invoice items, etc. So these are all predefined. So you can also, if the document that you're processing is one of these types, then you can also go with these templates. And then finally, if you do not want any of these three, you can also import a JSON schema, and then it will automatically recognize from the schema what are the fields that it has to extract from the document. Yeah. So now let's just go with auto extraction, and then let's see what the model determines are fields that can be imported from the document. So that's it. You can see that it has automatically parsed the document, and it has automatically created a list of fields that it can extract, and also tables. The invoice items over here, for example, is a table. So it has automatically recognized that it is a table, and it has created the table with all the required columns as well. If you want, you can also add more details. If you do not want a field, you can delete it, etc. So, and if, for example, let's say for the VAT rate, you can see that the VAT rate is over here. It has a percentage in there, and I do not want the percentage to be returned, right? So I can just click on edit, and in the prompt instructions, I can say return only the numerical value without percentage. So I can just add more details as and when it is needed. Yeah? And I can choose the AI model, and I can click on test, and we can see what are the data that the model is able to extract from the document. So it's done. You can see that these are the values that are extracted, and you can also see a confidence score for each of the extracted value. You can see that it is 100 because the model is pretty confident that everything it has extracted is correct. And similarly, also you can see tables. So you can also see a confidence score for each value in the table. So that's it. I mean, in a matter of 5 minutes, we have just configured a data extraction for a document that looks like this. Yeah. And now we can just click on save, give a name to the document. And once it is saved, we can click on activate. And when you click on activate, it is then available to be consumed in the subsequent steps, which would be either an Agentforce or in a Salesforce flow. Yeah, so that is a little bit of a preview about how the new product MuleSoft Flow IDP looks like. So let's see now how an end-to-end workflow will look like using MuleSoft Flow IDP, right? So let me switch. So this is going to be our use case. So we are going to create a plain order just by filling in some mandatory fields like the order start date, the account name, the contract number, and the status. That's it. So I just click on save. So this is just a blank order. There is no products. There is no header data involved. So you can see that the order amount is 0, no billing address, no shipping address, nothing. Now, the goal is we upload the document, and in the background, MuleSoft IDP will automatically extract everything, and then it will populate the order with the data from the document. So let me upload the same document that we used for creating this test configuration right now. So in the background, it is calling a screen flow, and the screen flow is passing this document to MuleSoft Flow IDP, and MuleSoft Flow IDP is extracting everything, and then it is populating the screen over here. It does not need review because everything is 100%, but for the sake of the demo, I have still forced a review over here just to show you also how the screen is going to look like, right? So this is the manual review component that I was talking about. It's just available out of the box. We just have to configure it. I will show you that also after this. So you can see that all the values are extracted properly. There is also tables which also are extracted properly with 100% confidence. So here the user can verify if everything is fine. He can just scroll around, just check if everything is extracted correctly. If not, he also has an option to edit something, and he can click on submit. And then when we click on next, there's another flow that is going to then just create the order. You can see now that all the header data is filled, like the billing address, shipping address, the order amount. And if I go to items, there's also order products that are filled with the correct quantity and correct price. So what would have been earlier a very hectic copy paste between the document and the Salesforce system is now really like a 2-minute job where the user just uploads, reviews everything is okay, and then clicks on submit. Yeah. And of course, like I said, it would be even faster because review in this case is not necessary because the confidence scores are really, really high. Okay. Let me quickly show you the flows in the background as well, so that you can know how to consume MuleSoft Flow IDP. So this is a main screen flow, and the first action here is just the upload screen that you saw where we uploaded the document. So it's nothing specific to MuleSoft Flow. And here you have just some extraction of the data that we need later in the process, like the content document ID and the content version ID of the document that we uploaded. So once that is done, there is another auto launch flow that is being called, which is called as extract order data. Now let me shift to extract order data. So this is the auto launch flow that is being called. And here I have used first a document configuration to first classify the document, whether according to the vendor. But the interesting part is this action over here. So in Salesforce Flows, now if you have the license to MuleSoft Flow IDP, then this action would be available, extract data from document. Yeah. And here you have to just pass the two values. The first one would be the content document ID. This is why we extracted it earlier. And then the second one would be the active process configuration that we created earlier, the prompts which we configured, right? So you just have to select all the active configurations would be listed in the drop down, and you just have to select which one you want to use. So this one, the classify order, is just a single prompt which is going to give me back the vendor name from the document. So it is going to give me polychem text. So it is going to go in this particular branch. And then there is a second extract data from document. And here I am calling another configuration, which is going to extract all the details that we want, the header information and the item information from this particular document. Yeah. And it is going to give the data back in a JSON format, as well as this is a Salesforce Apex data format. So you can decide to use whichever one that you want. Yeah. So this would be the auto launch flow. So till now we have passed the document to IDP, and we have extracted everything that we want in a JSON format. Now the control goes back to the main flow. And here in MuleSoft Flow IDP, you also have a field that you can use to check whether the data needs review or not. So if the confidence threshold of any of the extracted data falls below a particular threshold that you have set when you are configuring the action, then it will set this flag to true, meaning that data needs to be reviewed by a human. And then you can use this to check and trigger this particular screen component called as review extracted data. So this is the out-of-the-box review component that comes with MuleSoft Flow IDP, right? And it is called as review extracted data. And you just have to configure again just 3 fields: the extracted data that was coming out of the previous step, the document processing configuration, and then the content document ID. And using this, Salesforce will automatically construct this review screen with the preview of the document on one side and the extracted data along with the confidence scores on the other side, so that the user can then compare and correct the data if needed. This is really a huge advantage, because if you have to build a custom human review screen, then it is really, really painful. Yeah. So that's it. And once the data is extracted, is reviewed, and if it is corrected, then it is given to another subflow. This one is pretty straightforward. It just goes ahead and just creates the order with the data that it is given to. That's it. So that is the end-to-end demo, and you can see that these flows are not really complex. It's like, I mean, Salesforce flows can get really, really complicated, and this one's is not complex at all, and it can be built, I don't know, like within, if somebody is familiar with Salesforce, probably within 2 hours, 3 hours, you can really build a document workflow end to end without even writing a single line of code. And this would be the big advantage when compared to MuleSoft IDP, because there you would have to either write an RPA bot, or you would have to write a custom Mule application in order to consume the IDP APIs. But here it's just integrated within Flow, so it is just very, very low code, no code. Yeah, that is basically it. And now let me go back to the picture. Diane, you had a question? Sorry.
I'm just amazed. The the ease in which it's able to be used in a low code environment like that. So it's really very nice. Very nice. What do y'all think? Put in the chat. What do you all think? This is really is going to make it a lot easier for people to leverage IDP from within Salesforce.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. Yeah. And what is also really interesting, was not planning to show this, but it is also, I think, really cool to know, is there is recently a new feature where you can expose Salesforce hosted MCP servers. And you can easily expose a flow as an MCP server. I can also show you real quick.
You can expose a flow as an MCP server for an agent to leverage.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
So this is really huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So that very flow that you just did could be an MCP server that the agent will be able to
can consume. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, this cool. is really huge. Yeah. This is the one that that we were seeing, the flow that we were seeing earlier, the classify, for example, right? So it just exposes it with just a few clicks, and again, no code, and this can be consumed from any front end agent, and you've basically turned your flows now to sort of like document agents, kind of. So you can just upload a document, and then it's going to give you back the data, the classification, and then you can just decide to do what you want with it. It's also really, really flexible in this sense.
Wow, that's really nice. I like also too in the document action. Is it called document action in Salesforce?
Yes, it's called document configuration action, I think. Yes.
Okay. I really like how it offers JSON as one of the options. That's not something, well, we could do that on the IDP on the MuleSoft side. But I think that a lot of times when we were learning really how to do effective prompts, we started including JSON structures, right?
Yes.
So that, because what could happen, what we found was happening in working on an IDP project is that if you don't define the field names, for example, then it's going to come up with its own field names for you that may not work for your transformations. And so, and it may not be consistent from each time that it ran. But so we started learning that we would tell it in the prompt, this is the field name, and here's what I want you to define. So having that as an option within that really makes you think about that in Salesforce, I think is a smart move.
Yes, it definitely is, because there's also another output from this action, which is the Apex data type. So Apex data type is not really compatible with all the other external systems that we might encounter. So I think they were really flexible in also giving us this JSON option so that it can be also consumed within the external systems as well.
Yeah.
And also, it's quite easy to see all those field names in the drop down.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like
Exactly.
remember the names. So you can
Yes.
just select which field it is.
Yes, it's as low code,
Right.
no code as it can get, I think.
Yeah.
True.
Any questions that you may have? Put it in the chat. Any questions or comments? I know Olha, am I saying that correct? Said it sounds interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. And you know, if you just Google, put in your favorite AI companion, ask it for like the top 20 use cases for intelligent document processing, or if you're in a particular industry, have it say, you know, what are the top, 20 use cases for intelligent document processing in healthcare or in banking or whatever. And it'll start you thinking about possibilities of how this can really be leveraged. It's a pretty powerful tool.
Yes.
Great presentation. Do you have more? You want to cover anything?
No, I guess that's it.
Yeah, that was great.
That's it.
Yeah, it's
How
very
will you
interesting.
handle
Thanks.
PO variations? Neha?
Yes, so PO variations. Yes, I mean, as I said, it is pretty flexible, right? So let me go back to Salesforce again. Do I have it open? No. So it is up to, here we have not defined any prompts. We have just defined invoice number, invoice date, due date, etc. So even if I upload a completely different invoice, let's try it out maybe. It is going to still work because it is the AI model and you're not really, using like specific OCR saying that you have to locate the field that is, exactly located on the right side of the document, on the left side of the document, etc. So it can handle a lot of variations. You can see that it has still worked. Yeah. And then it has also fetched a lot of fields and also items probably with also a pretty high confidence. So it is pretty flexible. But the good practice or the best practice is that you test with all the variations that you can get, and then you verify that if your AI model that you're using and if the prompts that you've configured is really returning the data that you want in the correctness that you want. Yeah, this is best practice, just to have a test run with all the different formats. But it is pretty flexible. You don't have to really nail down each and every format. And then with the second variation is you might want different data out of different documents, right? So from, let's say, purchase order 1, you want, let's say, I don't know, different set of data. Purchase order 2, you want a different set of data. In this case, you definitely have to create 2 different document configurations. But if you want the same data from different types of documents, then it is pretty flexible. You can make do with 1 document processing configuration.
And also,
hope
would
this
it be
is-
like best practice to keep those configurations separate? It will be easier for you to identify which document you want to make. If in case you want to make changes to a configuration, you want them more modular,
Yeah.
right? If you put 2 or more documents configuration in one configuration, you will be confused next which document it belongs to.
Yes.
Yep.
If there's different document types, definitely it's best practice to just keep it completely separate. But there are some use cases, like for example, there are companies that get like rental contracts from different vendors, and each vendor has their own format, and there's like thousands of vendors all around the world. In this case, it might be very difficult to create 1,000 configurations for each. So in this case, a generic one would be better in terms of maintainability and also in terms of ease of use, etc. But it just is very subjective, depends on the case. Yeah.
One of the use cases for the project I was on in 2024 when it was going from beta to GA, and Kiru, I know you were on a project too. We both were working at the same time, but collaborating with our results. And it was the use case I was on was different healthcare providers, like in other words, different doctor offices that would like essentially send in a fax, a PDF of several patients that they saw that day.
Yes.
And so we had to do one initial run through IDP to determine if there was one patient referenced or multiple patients. And then if it was multiple patients, then we'd have to go through a splitter process, which was kind of crazy. So anyway, there's ways if you do get, like, for example, multiple, where you have to divide them out, it is best to isolate those so that you are just capturing data for that particular, in our case, that particular patient, because you would not want to have, just a general diagnosis, but, coming, that would actually be multiple patients that you don't know who it really goes to. It could be very catastrophic. So we did the isolation, and it's interesting too, because of the way IDP functions, is that it can take multiple pages and assess the data and lift the data based on whatever you have prompted it on collectively. So it really pretty powerful. One question, Kiru, about the Salesforce instance. Is there a limit? Is the limit the same as we see in MuleSoft for the number of pages and that type of thing?
Yes, so the licensing is also the same as the MuleSoft one, Diane. So it's, I think, 30 credits per page is the licensing, which is same as the MuleSoft IDP one. Yes.
Okay. Great. Wonderful. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Good. Very
Perfect.
good. Well,
yeah. Then if you're still there, then feel free to fill in the survey as well. So your participation is really, really valuable. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. And we would soon get back to you with our next session. Sorry, Sonam, go on.
No, I was just thanking everyone for joining, and do fill up this survey because this helps us improve within the community as well. So you could just scan that code. We will keep it on for some time in case people haven't scanned it.
Yeah. Great session. Yeah. And great spotlight too. Excited to return back from maternity leave when you're ready. How much more time do you have?
Just 2 more weeks.
2 weeks.
4 weeks. Well.
And Kiru, it was really very insightful topic you chose. It's really good.
Thank you so much, Akkriti. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I was so excited to find out the comparison, because I do, one thing about being in the MuleSoft community, oftentimes we are able to test out products and have access to some of the newer features. And I have yet to get access on the Salesforce side. I have access on the MuleSoft side. So I was so excited to see this. And so anyone that's interested in seeing, if you have, associates or, even clients, refer them to the meetup recording to be able to see how this is functioning, because, it's a very, the new opportunity for people on the Salesforce side. If they do decide that this is a product that they want to use within Salesforce, they don't have to buy a MuleSoft license for this. It's all bundled on the Salesforce side. And that's a huge benefit, to leverage intelligent document processing without having to add on a MuleSoft license. Now, one of the things we've talked about is that, just like Kira had mentioned, that if you want to access this endpoint, or if you want to have more control over the different stages of the document processing itself, there's some details there without going too deep into that, then you would want to lean towards the MuleSoft side. So there would be reasons to go that route, but a lot of people just need to get some data off of documents. And this is a beautiful way to do it without having a great overhead on cost for licenses.
I was also going through the introduce new pricing models as well. that helps a lot as well in deciding MuleSoft's licensing, because I also have a couple of clients who don't want to invest in another license. So it's good to know these details before you're talking to clients. This is really good information to have, to know all the products and features that MuleSoft and Salesforce has to offer.
Yeah, definitely. Because we do get asked that. One thing about when we're doing class, when I'm teaching and we're doing training and in the instructor-led classes, we never talk about cost. It's not in the curriculum. So coming from that background, it was never, we kind of knew how like the core versus the consumption based, kind of from a high level, we would be able to talk about it. But now that I'm doing more consulting, it's, we need to know what's going to be the most cost effective way for their needs.
Exactly.
They may need a full enterprise MuleSoft, or they may not, they may need starter, or maybe could just leverage this in Salesforce. So and it just changed, by the way. We need a good presentation on trying to understand the new pricing model.
Yes, that's where I was coming to.
I would be a participant.
I would want
I think
learn.
they do have a recording.
Yes.
They do have a recording that you can go through.
No, I think it's only for partners, Sonam, right? So we are not supposed to.
Yeah.
We have an NFR, so we are not supposed to talk about the pricing. Yes.
Yeah, true. That is kind of a. But you know what? Maybe we can get one of the by permission. Maybe we can get somebody on the MuleSoft side in sales that could give us a presentation on that. We'll have to work on that. We'll work on
that. They don't give the exact prices, but they do have a pricing model available on their website that we can.
Okay.
So that's pretty much public.
Right. Yeah. And that would be
okay.
I'd like to see like company A, company B, company C, like, and really see what it would look like. So maybe, and if you all have requests, like, for future meetups, please send it to us in the survey, or there's also a link to do requests as well from the site itself, from the meetup site. Let us know. Yeah. Awesome. Great meetup.
Sounds great. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you all. Thank you all for sure.
Thank you so much, guys, for supporting, for great hosting.
Yeah, for sure. You all do a great job. I'm so proud of you all. You've grown the EMEA meetup group lovely. So congratulations on that. And, more content to come for sure. I know, I have no doubt.
Yes.
Yeah. And at some point, maybe an in-person, if possible. I know it's hard.
It is
kind of
with
scattered. Maybe around an event,
maybe, because even for me and Sonam, it would be difficult to meet, because I would need a visa to go to Ireland, or she would need a visa to come here, sadly, even though it's all in Europe. And same for Akkriti as well.
For all of us, maybe London.
Right? So she's in London, so it's also the same. It's a lot of bureaucracy.
I never even think about that. That's true. I guess you would have to, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes.
That's much why I cannot attend all the Dreamforce events. Because they don't do it here.
Right.
It's in the US all the time. So
virtual is wonderful, obviously, because it would be very hard for me to get over there too, but a little more doable. And for everyone to participate. So we appreciate all of that.
So we did have Irish Dreaming, and it was, I think last year, it was their first Irish Dreaming ever, and I attended that one in Ireland.
Oh, nice. Yeah. The Dreaming events are pretty fun. Did you enjoy it?